So the final part of this chapter of the training series is going to look at adding classes to the booking system filters and working within the group programs admin section. So if we head across to booking admin, we've already used the booking system filters and added those. We now need to use the section below, create and edit classes. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And we now presented with a group programs admin section. So what we need to do is choose the appropriate program category that we're going to add a class to. So the one-to-one and Student Studio won't be relevant in this section as we've set that up as a one-to-one program category. But we're going to go ahead and add a class to your junior group classes. And what we're going to see below is our 5 sub-filters that we added, and the final drop down underneath is upcoming, in progress and previous classes. However, at the moment we don't have any classes added to the system, so we're going to go ahead and just add a new class using the plus icon at the bottom. And we can now see that we're going to set up the class using the 7 steps visible on the screen. So step number 1, first thing is add in a class name, and the class name for me is going to be the date and the time that the class starts. So let's go ahead and find an appropriate date that we're going to use. Let's go ahead and go with Saturday, 24th of August. And the time is going to be 3 PM until 4 PM. I'm now going to need to choose the program category, which we know is junior group class. The My Game level, which we set up in the earlier part of the training series, and this is going to be junior. The group is going to be Weekend Junior Academy, ages 4 to 6. And we want to set the class status as active. Short description, and we're going to choose an image from the main repository again. And we selected previously this one here. So we've completed now step 1. We're now going to move down to step 2, which would be to choose the lesson tags, which isn't necessary on this step. We're going to go and add the class coach. So I'm going to go with Joe Bloggs is running this class. You can see how he's been added now to the class. If we make a mistake and we want to remove him, then we can just, or the coach, we can just click the X, hit continue, and then add a new coach. So we've completed now steps 2 and 3. We now need to set the class size. So I'm limiting the class size here to 8, and that's the places that are going to be available. And we now need to set the price. It may be that when you run classes, you don't want to add a price, and any price that's set as 0 will mean on the booking system there won't be an option for the customer to make a payment. So, however, I'm going to add a price that I want to charge to a parent, which is going to be a fee of $79.95, and we're going to just leave the option here as full price. It'll be the only option that's available in this drop down as full price. Step number 6 now is selecting the date and number of classes that we're going to be running. So the lesson start date we've already said is going to be the 24th of August. The registration start date indicates when you're going to be taking registrations from, so when you want this appearing on the booking system, and I want this to be appearing from today. And the registration end date indicates when the class will be removed from the system, and we're going to set that to 1 day prior. So we're not going to take bookings on the day the class starts. So we're going to set it 1 day prior to the 23rd. And the final thing we need to do now is set the lesson duration, so the number of classes that we're going to be running within this program. And I'm going to offer 6 classes, and they're going to be running weekly. So I could set this so it sets to 6 consecutive days, 6 consecutive weeks, or 6 consecutive months. So I'm going to go with 6 consecutive weeks. There we go. And we're now going to move to step 7, which is the final section called schedule classes in the calendar. So this is where we're now going to add the classes to the relevant coach calendar. So we just need to click schedule classes, and we're going to navigate across to the relevant month using the arrows at the top, and we're going to find the date of the first week, which is the 24th. So we're going to do this one as an example of how you would add 6 consecutive classes to 6 consecutive weeks. We're going to cover in the next part of this training series how we would need to add the classes differently if potentially we were missing a week due to a prior arrangement or holiday, etc. So let's go ahead and select the relevant day, which is the 24th, just by clicking the day on the calendar. And we now have a pop-up that appears asking us to select the time and coach. So let's go and choose the event date. This needs to be ticked. And we're going to choose the time, 3 p.m. till 4 p.m. And we're now going to go and choose the coach, which we know is Joe Bloggs. That needs to be ticked. And we're going to repeat it weekly. So we're going to repeat this class for 6 consecutive weeks. And we're going to hit save. We can now check that all those classes have been added, which they have, running up until the 28th of September. And we're now going to hit save. And always a good idea, just maybe to double check all of the information, and then you're going to go ahead and choose save. And we can see now how we have our first class that's now appeared within the group programs admin section.